Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Kovac Enterprises. First off, I just want to give a quick little mail call. This is Saturday, the weekend of July 28th, and I received some shop cards from my good friends, Papa Dan Models 2 and Caleb's Corner. So let's have a look at them real quick. This is from Caleb. Great little card here. It's called Optimus Says, Watch Caleb's Corner as seen on Papa Dan's Models 2. So nice job there, Caleb. Looks really nice. Be proud to have this as part of my collection. And then of course we have Papa Dan Models 2 new card. As real as you can imagine, and very nice thank you notations on the back of each of the cards. So appreciate it, guys, and looking forward to putting it to my collection. And go ahead and go over and check out their channels. They're really good modelers and have great info and insights, and great channels. So, with that being said, from our previous episode on the 29 Mercedes Benz SSK Part 1, we basically went through the first through third steps of the Lindbergh instructions. In this Part 2, we're actually, see if I can bring this in a little bit, but we're going to actually move along here with the front fenders, radiator assembly. We're going to be doing the dashboard assembly, and we're also going to do the exhaust pipes, as well as the front brakes and rear axle assembly. So quite a bit to cover. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see the star of the show. We'll bring that up into the camera, and there she is. Like I said, this is steps basically 4 through 10, and we'll kind of go through each of these steps with you. So basically, as you notice, we have the front fenders on there. I went ahead and painted those up in basically a bright red Craftsmart satin, and then I laid down some Future on it. So let's go ahead and bring that in a little bit. And we'll lower the camera so we get a kind of a better look at it. Okay. So as you can see, we have both the right and left fenders installed on the frame here, and it's pretty easy to put on there. As far as the radiator assembly, we went ahead and installed the chrome radiator with the grill and the hood ornament, as well as the headlights and lenses, which I used the glue and glaze to install that, so that would, once it's cured, it'd be a nice clear, so you can see right into the headlights with no obstructions. We also went ahead and installed the front license plates. And of course we used the black satin paint for that, with some gunmetal paint as well to highlight the numbers. Actually it says SSK 668. So there you go. So that was done as well. And then we went ahead and we'll turn this thing around a little bit so you can see the other side. We went ahead and installed the dashboard assembly, and we'll go ahead and bring that into focus here a little bit. So I basically used some bright yellow for the backdrop of the dashboard itself. And as far as the gauges are concerned, we went ahead and used the Craftsmart black satin, using a toothpick to actually apply it to the gauges themselves. And then we just dry brushed in the actual dials and everything with some of the silver sterling as well. So that was the dashboard. Of course, there's the support for the dashboard that's glued to the actual chrome firewall itself, so you can see that. And then we have our steering wheel itself that is attached to the steering column, which actually feeds through the firewall here and actually gets attached to the inside part of the engine pin that sticks out here on the driver's side. And as far as the steering wheel itself, we went ahead and applied some a light brown color for the steering wheel with some black accent. And then as far as the inner part of the steering wheel itself, we went ahead and relied on our mobile toe 1mm pen, and we highlighted that with the chrome on that. And then we went ahead and glued on the spark starter, I guess they would want to call it. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, actually it's out of focus. Okay, it's actually the spark lever that goes to the center point of the steering wheel. So there you go. Alright, so after that was done, we can flip her on over. And well, before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about the actual right hood panel. We went ahead and installed that between the firewall and the actual radiator itself. Once that was glued into place, we went ahead and fed the exhaust pipes themselves. There's 3 of them, and they have to go in a certain order as long as you follow the instructions. 1, 2, 3. We actually, the easiest way, and they tell you this in the instructions, is to feed it underneath the fender itself, and then through the hood panel, and then we'll kind of turn this around so you can see the other side for the inside part. And then of course you attach it to the engine itself. You see these points right here. It was a little tricky, but we got her in there, and once it was in there, we just went ahead and glued it with some extra thin cement Tamiya. So that is done with that for the exhaust pipes. And then of course we'll go ahead and turn her upside down, and as you can see, we started with the front brakes were installed. Once we painted those all up, and they go a certain way so that you can apply the tie rod in itself, which is this part right here, and that just slides right onto the axles, as you can see right here, and it basically only fits one way, so it can't really go wrong with that. So that is that. And then of course we have the steering arm. It's kind of hard to see here, but we'll take a look at it. Let me get my hand out of the way. But there's actually the steering wheel or steering arm actually goes right here, the linkage up and over the axle right here, and as you can see, it also gets hooked up to the end of the pin where we just did our steering column. So that is the front brakes themselves. And then of course we come here to the rear side of it, where we started working on the rear axle assembly, and also the left and right springs. So we got those all together. There's also 2 little key points that we glue on either side, here and here, which is the actual spring mounts, in order to have the springs glue into those once they're put in. So that's very important to have in place in the frame itself. But like I said, we got everything done as far as the rear axle assembly, and then we went ahead and installed it into the frame, and of course the back of the engine itself here. And we also went ahead and glued in the first battery box, which is right here. So that is that. So this is where we're at right now as far as the building process. We'll go ahead and lay that back down. And you can see it's starting to look like a real car now. So our next step up, of course, we'll start working from the midpoint here and work on the rear fenders and whatnot. But so pretty much we've gone through steps 1 through 10 so far in the instructions, and we're moving along with this, and I'm having a real good time with this. It's a little challenging. I've never worked with the Lindbergh before, so I enjoy the challenge and reading the instructions thoroughly and doing a lot of dry fitting. But overall, really enjoyed working on this. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and call this one done for this part 2. And I hope everybody has a good weekend. And we will catch you on the next episode of this 29 Mercedes Benz SSK. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next segment. So long.